Hey folks, it's Brett again with Full Time RV, and here's where I was promising you a minute ago where you could look for some cheap property. I'm going to give you three sites that I was looking at, and I'm going to give you actually the one that I recommend the most last, only because they have the least amount of restrictions on their land. The first site is going to be billyland.com, and I'm under the tab of cheap monthly payments. They've got parcels of land ranging anywhere from quarters of an acre to as much as 5 acres for under $200 per month. I'm going to show you some land that I found in Colorado because some of this doesn't have any requirements on it. And some of it does, so you're going to want to check on that. But Billy Land's been around for a long time. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. And all of these lands, all three of them, these are low to no down, and you know, no credit checks, no nothing like that. You're buying the property, and once you've paid the property off, then you can subdivide it, but you can start living on it immediately. Starting with the Colorado land, you can see some of the land out here that's really pretty. This land, if you were to purchase it in cash, is $5,990. His monthly payment is $65 per month on 5 acres in San Luis Ranch land in Colorado. They give you a picture of where the land is at, and then a little bit later they go down there. They say $85 a month there, but that's because they're not taking into account the bid. Now, you do have to bid to buy the property. So, see, a winning bid is $599, and it goes towards the purchase price. There's been 7 bids currently, and the lowest bid you could put in would be $119. The auction will end in 2 days, 11 hours. You're just bidding to be able to be the person that buys the land. Now, here's how they work it out. Where is that one at? Here it is. You can choose a 4-year option at 8% simple interest or a 20-year option at 12% simple interest. A 20-year option would be a monthly payment of $85. Even though it said $65, they're showing $85. What you want to look at in here is you want to see if there's any requirements on the property or covenants. And so far, they don't show any. They just show information about the San Luis Valley, Rio Grande River, Mount Blanca, the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, some green alternatives for rural landowners, and then it goes down a little further and you get some pictures of the property. Now, this is scrub brush land. Now, that's one of the complaints that all three of these sites have. Every time I find complaints is people say, yeah, well, they're selling you land cheap, but it's land in the middle of nowhere, so it doesn't have utilities, or it's scrub brush land, so it's not prime real estate. Well, no crap. That's the whole, they tell you that in the daggum article if you just read it. That's why the land is this cheap. I mean, where else are you going to get 5 acres for $5,000? It's difficult to find it unless you're buying it on a tax lien. And these are just some pictures around the area. You see a real good mountain in the background. They got a pretty good graded road, but it's scrub brush land. And then they show you where the land is at, and that it's on an actual road that they've graded and paved, and it shows you it's in southern Colorado, north of New Mexico. And you can come down here and actually click on Google Maps and then look at the land around the parcel. So you see a little bit of river and wash. And that's one of the things that you want to check too. This is actually at the end of a dry riverbed. So what you want to think about is this. You want to look at these maps, and if you have time before you purchase, because they give you plenty of time to, I think it's 100 days. They give you a whole year to switch the property out for another like property, but I want to say it's 90 to 100 days money back guarantee. That's in here somewhere. They all have pretty much the same thing going on. But at any rate, you want to come down here and you want to look at the land. So you can see there's 4 farm pastures right there, and there's a dry riverbed that runs to the back of the property. Now, here's what my concern would be and why I wouldn't buy this particular parcel. If there's a riverbed there, then that means that, yeah, I may be on flat land, but what happens when we have snow melt from the mountains that are behind me and it overflows this river? Is this delta going to come up and flood my property? Those are things that you want to look at. So that one may not be one that you're interested in. So what you do is you come out and you look a little ways down. You find something that looks like it's got hills like this one. It says it's near power lines. $5,900, $81 a month. So again, you look, and you got to see if they have any restrictive covenants, because sometimes they won't allow you to actually build on that land, especially the property in Kentucky, or not build, but park an RV on that land. They may make you build a house, and it could be as small as 400 square feet, which for those of us that want to do tiny homes, that's great. So here's land. We see mountain. We see a hill. So we want to find out where we're at. And it's a straight piece of property on land. So we're going to come down here and click on this map. Once again, I see there's a river nearby, but that river could be pretty far away. And it looks like there's another gully or dry riverbed running there, so that might not be what we want, or that could be a fault line. You know, you never really know. But as you go through these lands, you actually will find some lands that are going to be high and dry. Some of them aren't exactly level, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. But you just want to click through, you know, make some phone calls. This one's good and hilly, and it has, I can't see anything there. Somebody's got a house trailer. You got a nice little mountain behind the house. So again, I want to come down here and look and see what I've got. All right, I got lots of farmland nearby. That's roads. This land looks like it might be fairly high and dry. And there's that house trailer we were looking at. That looks like that might be something that I want, because there's a little ditch here, but there's some hills on that land. And sometimes they actually give you a topographical view. This one didn't do it, but a few of these have a topographical view. Let me see if I can find one of those real quick while we're here. This one might have it. Yeah, this one's got a topographical view, and you can see how the topography of the land is laid out. So you see there's a big gully in the middle and a little hill in there. This might not be a piece of property that you want unless you don't mind, you know, building a driveway on stilts. But at least you know that the water and the snow runoff is going to run away from you. Now you can see in this picture here that somebody built a house in the middle of a gully. Anybody that knows what they're doing would not make that mistake. So that would be Billy Land. The next one's called Cheap Land in America, and they got a lot of land in Wyoming and Colorado. Now Wyoming is interesting because you can access, the way this is set up is it's a checkerboard pattern and 1 square mile tracts. And I'm going to click on one and just show you what the checkerboard looks like. This is what the checkerboard looks like. Everything in yellow is a Bureau of Land Management property. So if you were to buy this particular tract, you would have behind you 640 acres of Bureau of Land Management property. Now, the public can utilize that land, but they can't cross your land to get to it. You can go into it and cross it to get to your land all day long, but the public cannot cross your land to get to BLM land, and that's one of the neat things about it. What you have to watch for is they're selling this property for, it's 40 acres for $17,500 in Sweetwater County. Now, what you want to look for is right here. Zoning is basically agriculture. Residents aren't usually permitted. Check with Sweetwater County Planning and Zoning for allowable usage. So what you'd want to do if you're interested in that property and they give you the phone number is call them up and say, hey, you know, I'd like to live full-time in my RV on that land, or build a small house, or whatever it is that you want to do, and make sure that it's okay. And I don't see why it wouldn't be, because otherwise why would you be buying this land? If you run into problems there, don't worry about trying to buy from them, because there's another option, and this one I think is probably the best. This is Texas Ranch Deals. They go with a couple of other companies as well that they own a few other websites. But the neat thing about Texas is this. You can park your RV on it and live in it forever. There are no zoning or planning laws in Texas at all, so nobody can complain about it. There's 20-acre tracts, and they're all together not too bad priced. This one's on a road near electricity, so we'll click on it. You can see some of the pictures. It's, again, scrub land. So it's not, we're not talking about prime tracts of land. It's not going to have utilities, so you know, RVs work out good here because we have all of our own toilet tanks and that. And there's a lot of grazing going on. There's also quite a bit of wildlife in the area if you want to be a hunter. And then, of course, they tell you a little bit about the area. Now, this area is about 4,500 feet above sea level, so it gets a lot of sunshine, not a lot of rain, but it's not overly hot. And this is actually where I'm looking at buying, because I can get a 28-acre tract of land for $119 a month for no down payment. If I put $288 down, they'll give me $2,000 off the sale price of the property, which makes it a little bit cheaper for me. And it's close to electrical, so I know that if I wanted to run and connect up to electrical, then I can. And also in Texas, solar power is encouraged, unlike it is in Florida, where our current governor is in the pocket of the gas companies and the electric companies, and so they've actually made some laws making it very difficult to do full solar power and get off the grid. But these are just a few choices that are out there for you. Go through these sites, see if you got anything in there that's going to work for you, and if you do, go ahead and buy. This is not one that I have any affiliate agreements with, so this is all on your own. But check it out. I really like this Texas ranch deals. I've talked to these folks on the phone a few times, and hopefully in the next month or so, I'm going to get out to West Texas and go look at some of this property and then purchase one of them. And by the way, they also have acreage from 20 acres to, I think the largest one they have is 160 acres. Yeah, 160 is this property here. It's about $600 a month. So check them out. Let me know what you think in the comment bar. If you like this series, I'll start putting some more information up as I come across it. Thanks for watching.